Kristina Moriconi is a poet and essayist whose work has appeared in a variety of literary journals and magazines, including Brevity, Epiphany, Cobalt Review, The Nervous Breakdown, and Literary Mama, as well as many others. Moriconi earned her MFA from the Rainier Writing Workshops in Tacoma, Washington. She lives in the Philadelphia area and teaches writing in the local community. Moriconi also teaches in the Creative Writing MFA program at Rosemont College. And I'm so happy that Kristina has joined our faculty. So please welcome Kristina Moriconi.
The first piece I'm going to read is called What's Left. Here I am, here we are, just a few months after I leave their father, and the three of us are joining some friends and their families on a camping trip. The three of us. A number I am not quite used to, but here's the truth. We hadn't been a family of four anyway. He'd learned fast how to disappear. 4 take away 1. Subtraction can be the most dismal of math operations. Always something diminished. And I am certain that to others there is sadness in this ending, this splitting apart. For me, right now, there is open space, miles of highway, fields and mountains and forests. There is a body in need of feeling something again. Promised Land State Park stretches over 3,000 acres in the Pennsylvania Poconos. My daughters are 4 and 5 years old. They are thrilled by the idea of sleeping in a tent. I am less so, mostly because of what I know, what I do not tell them. It is early October and temperatures are predicted to drop into the low 40s at night. The tent and sleeping bags we'll be using are borrowed, and they smell like a musty basement. At night, in the dark, just beyond our nylon walls, there will be snakes and skunks and black bears. But I need to do this for myself, for them, for the three of us. I set up our tent outside the circle of chairs that surround what will later be the campfire. I assemble posts and drive stakes into the ground, each determined gesture carrying the weight of memory. A slammed door, accusations, a threat, thrown candlesticks. Remembering is an act of addition, each layer piling on, stacking up, making it ever more impossible to overlook. Here I am, drawn into the swell of fall colors in the dense forest of trees, the red and orange of flame, spun gold, an accumulation of light, and the sun on my face. I feel it almost as though I've never felt it before. Here we are. Right away, my daughters befriending a boy their age, skipping off to play in the woods. How easily they adapt. Their imaginary games of shipwreck and survival keeping them busy all day. Still, here, among friends, I am the only single mom. Uncertainty slips in like long shadows from the trees. I shiver, wonder if I've done the right thing, taking these 2 little girls away from their father, dividing everything in half, a house, a dining room set, their chances for someday finding love that lasts. Along paths close to the campsite, I walk, the first wandering I have done in years. For a moment, I worry about getting lost, but a bird stirs above in an evergreen and quickly distracts me. I glimpse its wings lift, listen to the sound it makes as it flies away, shrill, like a child's toy whistle. Between tree branches, the blue of sky, cloudless. Below, beside my feet, something bright. I bend to take a closer look. Fruit-bearing lichen I have never seen before, red clusters overflowing yellow-green cups. To take in this kind of beauty, illuminated, beckoning. Here, like this, the day's brisk air rushing into my lungs. I hear one of my daughters calling for me. I turn toward the sound of her voice and walk briskly back. Everyone is preparing to go down to the lake, backpacks slung over shoulders, kayaks and canoes hoisted high above heads. We join the parade, one daughter on either side of me. 2 hands, 2 girls. Simple math, no remainder. In the early afternoon sun, Promised Land Lake is fringed by the reflection of trees on fire, a spectacular blaze. I watch a flock of ducks leave behind tiny momentary wakes on the otherwise still surface of the water. On the rocks along the edge, my daughters and their friend begin collecting sticks, piling them up. Walls, they say, when asked, to protect us in case the lake gets bigger and bigger, tries to take over the land. I wonder what makes them think of this, the need to fortify, to contain, to hold back what might threaten to harm us. What fantasies have prompted these elaborate stick piles, this make-pretend peril? 4 minus 1. By taking them away, have I opened up a place for fear to lodge itself? Maybe I'm overreacting, but I start thinking about other walls, about families behind walls of houses constructed to keep them safely inside or to keep unwanted things out. Stone or brick walls intended as boundaries or borders, retaining walls, sea walls, and the kind of emotional walls built to keep us from being hurt. No one ever wants to say, I am fragile. Someone offers me a canoe, suggests I take my daughters out onto the lake. So I do. I buckle them into life vests, climb into the boat first, and reach out as a friend lifts them one at a time into my arms. I can feel my heart pumping harder and faster as we are pushed offshore with the kind of force that rocks the canoe back and forth. I almost drop the oars. I am convinced we are going to capsize. One of the girls asks if we are going to tip over. No, I got this, I say, trying to sound confident. I tighten my grip on the oars, begin to slowly row us out toward the middle of the lake. For a little while, we are steady. I am calmer, but doubt catches up with me again as I look at their faces, peeking out over the top of orange life jackets that have nearly obscured their entire bodies. 2 of them, 1 of me. This is where the math becomes an impossible word problem. If a boat tips over and there is only 1 parent, I paddle us back to shore. Some people, and I am one of them, hate happy endings. Harm is the norm. Doom should not jam. In the middle of my divorce, the apartment I move into with my daughters is a small, dismal place. I try to make it a home, hang curtains and pictures to brighten the scuffed white walls. But during our first night there, my oldest daughter's screams wake me from an already fitful sleep. She'd switched on the light in the bathroom, and 3 large bugs had scurried across the tile floor. I run to get a shoe, smash one while the other 2 get away, slipping through a barely visible space between the wall and the wood trim along the floor. My daughter consoles me, then commends me for at least killing the biggest of the 3 crunchy bugs. This goes on, becomes a nightly ritual. Somewhere outside the frame, there is a father. There is a car door kicked and foolish words flung without regard. There are 2 children taking it all in. Some of the crunchy bugs I crush keep on crawling. Cockroaches can live for weeks without their heads. My daughter proudly delivers this piece of information during dinner one night. Someone at daycare told her, "They don't need as much food as we do." I keep crushing them anyway. I want to show my daughters what it looks like to be unafraid. 4 times I ask the landlord to spray, to set traps, but no one ever comes. So I smack and I squash and I wallop, and I begin picking up the bodies carefully, measuring and counting them. I hold each one up as though it's a prize. I read somewhere that Nabokov kept his collection of butterfly genitalia in little vials and on glass plates, labeled and indexed neatly inside a cabinet. Lepidopterist, a person who studies or collects moths and butterflies. I become interested in his work, then obsessed. I was 10 or 11 when my father taught me how to catch butterflies, how to kill them and mount them on boards. I confess, for years I will consider myself complicit. I will be preoccupied with words like accomplice, conspirator, accessory. I create my own box of cockroaches, arrange them in plastic bags according to species and size. I label each one with the date and the room in which it was found. It is less a hobby or a fascination at first, more a need to fiercely protect my daughters. To disarm is to make harmless. To diffuse, I want them to feel safe. But I admit to a growing curiosity over time and need to chronicle what I see. Note the pronounced banding across its wings. Note a yellowish figure 8 pattern on the back of its head. In separate glass bottles, I store individual body parts, legs, wings, heads, antennae, the outcome of when I've been less careful in the crushing, too eager with one that is about to get away. There is too much I cannot control. Note, he has taken scissors to our daughter's hair. Note, his new wife has pushed the oldest across a room. There will be pictures my daughters will draw, monsters without heads, a man with scissor hands. There will be stories I'll tell them to keep it all from seeming so sad. I know there will be other intruders, so many perimeters and points of entry I won't be able to protect. With my daughters at my side, I carry my box of specimens to apartment D, knock on the landlord's door. Look, I say, as he lowers his gaze, this is the biggest one. I pinch a reddish-brown 2-inch exoskeleton between my fingers, lift it toward his face.